Welcome to another Suzy Talk live session. Today, I will start with introducing you guys our pitch contest that we will be launching in a few weeks. So I want to share with you guys quickly my screen to show you our landing page. Here is our pitch competition landing page. This is like a consulting case competition, and we will have 2 steps to it. We will launch our case, and after it, we will evaluate your case submissions, and then we will have our finalists and the final case launch, and then we will pick the winners from that, and the winners will get a chance to do an 8-week internship at Sizigi, and there will also be a money incentive too. And there's going to be a lot of learning opportunities, and there's going to be guest judges that you can network with, and it's completely free. So be on the lookout for it. We will be sharing it with you guys shortly on our Sizigi page. So today we have a very, very special guest. Our guest is Divija Maitra. She is a rising sophomore at UCSD, majoring in cognitive science with a minor in entrepreneurship and innovation. She is a business strategy and analytics intern at Sizigi, as well as the project lead for Project Emerge, which is a new collaborative initiative that aims to connect students to established businesses. So I'm adding her to our stream.
Hi.
Hello, welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm so happy that you accepted to be on our Suzy Talk live session. You are such a great addition to our team. You are leading one of the most important projects in Syzygy, Project Emerge. I'm really excited to talk about that with you. And yeah, we can go ahead and start our interview. So our first question is, how has the recruiting experience been for you so far, Divija?
Yeah, that's a really great question. Thanks, Beza. First of all, thank you guys for having me here. I love being a part of Sizigi, and this experience has been amazing. But yeah, in regards to your question, again, like you said, I am a rising sophomore right now. So just a few months ago, I was just applying to as many internships as I possibly could, trying to get work experience. I just got caught up in that hustle of, trying to get as much work experience before I graduate, getting skills under my belt before I graduate. So all of that combined kind of made the recruiting process for me a little bit challenging. But obviously there was a lot of pros and a lot of cons associated with it. I think the biggest challenges that I faced was the very fact that I didn't know how to sell myself. I was just a first year. I'm still trying to figure myself out. So it's hard to pitch yourself and sell yourself to companies when they expect you to already know who you are, how to add value to a company. And, just having me trying to figure that out and trying to sell myself in that way was just extremely difficult, I think. I guess it almost felt like I was, without even understanding what companies were about or what their vision is or what they were trying to do, I was applying to them. I was just throwing resumes at them, hoping that they would understand who I am. I feel like it's a very universal experience. But yeah, I guess because of that, a lot of good things came out of that too, because while I was doing that, I guess I understood what I was looking for, who I am as a person. So it was a lot of introspection and reflection going on with the whole process. There were a lot of interviews, a lot of cold emails being sent out to people. But I guess the struggle that came along with that was like, what do I have to offer, and how do I figure that out about myself? Understanding those things in a classroom setting is very difficult. And I guess that entire experience was a learning experience for me, but also just a challenge that I had to overcome. But I'm here now at Sizigi, and I love what I do. Yeah. And I think the biggest thing that I love about Sizigi is just the amount of collaboration and vision that the company has. And I feel like I contribute to that. So overall, it's just made my recruitment experience worth it, I think. Yeah, and I just love where I am right now.
You're a rising sophomore, and
Yeah.
you already have an internship, which is very impressive. Do you think having a Sizigi e-portfolio helped you get this internship?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't know about Syzygy's platform before when I was applying to internships, and I wish I did. And I think that's also
Right.
kind of what project right. I'm always like, maybe if I could actually create videos and show myself and show what I can do, it would be a lot easier. Because as a first year, I'm always like, honestly, all I was trying to do is just fit in things into my resume so that it doesn't look empty, or like trying to sell myself as much as possible. And I'm like, I wish I could, like, even doing this interview, it's like I'm communicating who I am. And I wish I could do that with other companies. And I think Syzygy is just an amazing platform in that sense, is because I can actually broadcast who I am, what I can do, and most importantly, like what kind of person I am. I think that's such a huge thing that is overlooked in the whole recruiting process, is like, who am I? Like, what are my values, and how can I add those to a company? So yeah, Syzygy has been extremely helpful, and I plan on using that e-portfolio as I go forward.
Same. I have it on my resume and everything. So let's go on to our second question. How would you describe a perfect recruiting process?
Yeah, awesome. I think that's a great question, because it actually helps me talk about Project Emerge to you guys as well. So for me, the perfect recruiting process is something that is as much idea-based as possible. Like kind of what I was talking about before with my current recruiting process, or my ongoing recruiting process, I was like, I have all these skills, they're still pretty underdeveloped because, again, I'm just a first year, but I have these ideas and I have my own opinions and beliefs, but I don't know how to communicate that to the companies. And I think right now what the recruiting process is, it's very two-dimensional. It's like a checklist of things, and I want to change that. That is like, an aspect that I think needs to be revolutionized. I think the recruiting process needs to be observant about what a candidate is, who they are, what they can offer to the company, and what their opinions and beliefs are. I think that also corresponds with the perfect internship experience as well. And I think that starts with recruiting, if a company can base a candidate based on, how they would tackle specific projects, what kind of opinions and values they would add to a company, how they would help grow a company, both in terms of vision and in terms of like the technical side of things. How can we combine that in order to have that perfect recruiting process? And that's exactly what Project Emerge is trying to do. What we do is we host like a week-long case competition, so that students can actually work through the real life projects of what the business needs and what they want. And that way businesses can also see, how students are tackling these real world problems. They're actually judging candidates based on their ideas and their values and what they actually have to offer, rather than just what they can just put down on a piece of paper. I think it really is aligned with Syzygy's mission, and it is aligned with, I think, what students in general are trying to work towards as well. And I think overall it'll just be a very beneficial, like a mutually beneficial process for both candidates and for businesses and all. But yeah, that was a great question.
Yeah, and could you please talk a little bit about Project Emerge, please? Because like I'm very interested. This is a very interesting project.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Project Emerge basically, so we tried to play with our brand image quite a lot, right? So first we wanted to be like a consulting service. We were like, hey, businesses have these projects, maybe they don't have the resources to outsource, so why don't we step in and act as like a crowdsourcing kind of consulting service, so that students can actually pitch their ideas and businesses can then choose from a lot of different types of ideas and concepts, right? But then we also realized, but Project Emerge is also an initiative that helps students even more. It's a project done by students and it's for students. So it's also a platform that connects students to businesses itself. So like I said before, students, I think, have a huge challenge in communicating who they are, connecting to the right people, connecting to the right businesses. So Project Emerge steps in to exactly cater to what your skills are, what your interests are, and then finds you the right people to work with. So that's another thing that Project Emerge does. And then finally, we were also thinking, so we're also an organization that is trying to revolutionize the hiring process as well, right? Like I talked about before, we're trying to make it more idea-based. We're trying to make it more conceptual-based so that companies have a better idea of who they're hiring. So we're kind of also a hiring service. So all these different visions and all these different concepts we were trying to put together, and all of it came together in Project Emerge. So what Project Emerge does is that we find students that have specific skills that businesses are looking for particular projects. So you know, if a business is working or needs a project in relation to market analytics or something like that, we find students that have these skills, and then they're able to actually look at the project and actually evaluate the project and pitch what their ideas and how they would strategize to actually tackle and implement this project in the first place. So that way they would go through a week-long case study competition where the business can then choose the winner, and that winner then gets hired by that company. So as you can see, we're trying to actually incorporate all of the revolutionary ideas that we had before to kind of make it a concise hiring process. So not only are we adding value to students, but we're also hoping to add value to businesses as well.
That's very cool. Managing this as a rising sophomore, which is very, very impressive, Divija. It's been a
thank you.
talking to you. Like, you had some great insights to share with us. Thank you so much for being a part of this, Divija.
Thank you for having me. It was great.
Thank you to you guys for watching our Sizigi Talk live with Divija today, the manager of the Project Emerge. And please tune in this Thursday as well, as we will have another interview with Celine Shin, who is a senior manager at American Express. It's going to be an exciting one as well. Thank you, guys. Have a good rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.